Heavy branded trident, that's fine. We do get elements and introspection on the next one here, so that's close, right? That's halfway to replacing what we previously had in the cloak slot. How much do I care about elements? It's fire, ice, air, and earth. Are there any high-level spells under those denominations that I am thinking of casting at some point in this run? Besides the fireball that we just picked up, not a whole lot. I guess it would make fireball a lot more castable. Between the boost to spell casting and the boost to our elemental skills, even Vile Clutch is half earth, so it also has some impact in that department. It's not horrible. But at the risk of spreading ourselves a little too thin in this hybrid model, let's go for it, shall we? Let's not worry too much about that. And instead, just have faith and trust in the process here. Trust the process. And we'll see if that comes back to bite us in the rear at some stage down the road, shall we? But beautiful. We're currently still in the business of increasing the number of throwing consumables we have at our disposal, so we do love to see that. And it'll be largely Vile Clutch against this son of a gun. Oh, I shouldn't step into danger close territory. Whoopsie daisies. We do some great work here. Absolutely no incredibly stupid mistakes, of course. That doesn't sound like us. No way, no how. But we can just blow the mind on that snapping turtle, which gets past a lot of the issue points there. So I don't mind that too much whatsoever. Staff of Cold will probably be thrown away before too long here, but I guess never say never. We'll see how everything shakes out. Is still a wild Kraken wandering about the level somewhere here. So I don't love these other stair options that we had, but as long as this one's, I was gonna say looking okay, then we might be fine. This is an interesting ending to Shoals. I don't know if I've ever seen this little grassy Gnoll fortress. Well, guessing this son of a gun has a net? Do indeed. Hey, Dr. Pirate, how's it going? Do I bother fighting here at all? Don't love the concept of being netted. At the very least, I guess, with this crew around, we could just use some tin of tremor stones action. Not sure if it's on your end, but audio is a little crunchy. Oh no. Is it the music as well, or just the voice audio? I feel like my poor little mic here has been struggling a little bit as of late. But if it's both of them, then it's the other thing that's been struggling as of late, which is my internet connection. Gotta love having network issues, especially with just how much stuff we do that's online these days. I feel so horrible anytime in like a very serious work meeting when my connection cuts out. It's super unprofessional and embarrassing. I hate it. Punchy on your end as well. Oh no. Let's try and do a little bit of live fixing on the mic, shall we? Better, worse, the same? I guess we shall see. Hopefully it's a little bit better. Otherwise, it might just be how things are for the next little while here, and I apologize profusely. Better on your end, Eric? Okay, we'll see if that keeps up. No idea what's causing it, but every once in a while I just have to unplug and replug in my mic, and that generally seems to address the issue. Don't let us tin of tremor stones in advance here. Just get the ball rolling. Don't have to think too much about it and can hopefully clear out a large selection of our new friends. In fact, this fireball location, basically too good to pass up. How could I possibly refuse? And now seems like a half decent time to beat a little bit of a retreat. Better on your end as well, Pirate? Perfect. Well, thanks for letting me know, and hopefully that keeps up for a little while here, but no promises. Again, I seem to have a bit of an aura of technical difficulties lately, and just everything's breaking in my presence, so don't have a lot of faith, but should be alright. That Rapier of Speed can't help but check out a little bit. That would be huge if we were in another context here, but let's blink out of the ambush here, shall we? And then we can start blasting. Line of fire. That's fine. Just blast wherever you're able to, buddy. Don't think too hard about it. I'm guessing we can't really reach out and grab our elemental friends, so just have to do some damage and take that as it is. You know what? A few more fireballs. I was gonna say never hurt nobody, but that's kind of antithetical to the whole reason why we're throwing out the fireballs in the first place. Let's just be honest with ourselves and each other, and the I guess the sheer volume of harm that we're causing. But here we go. This is where we can start blasting our Kraken friend a little bit. Glad that they did finally show up, because I had concerns that it would happen at a less than opportune moment, shall we say. This is not looking too bad. Guess, is there anywhere I can place this fireball that's not gonna smash myself? Not so much, but that should just kill the Kraken anywho. And hey, we got a little bit of fire resistance. You know, the perks of switching over to that scarf already showing themselves. And we didn't leave too many other friends here, so let's just point blank blast ourselves a couple more times. You know, I felt like that was going to be a risky maneuver. It's almost disappointing that it wasn't, and I say disappointing not because, you know, its effectiveness in the combat situation was doing poorly, but it's more so if we're taking such little damage against the fireball coming in. Maybe doesn't bode the best for our continued ability to use our spellcasting in the future. I'm guessing it was airstrikes that were kind of beating us there, but I couldn't actually tell you with any confidence. But so far, looking ever so slightly more manageable here. I was just thinking to myself that there's a good chance we get blown off the stairs, and I kind of just ran with it, but probably should be a little more cautious of everything. And in fact, in general, I guess we took care of the Kraken. Hopefully it was just the one. So these stairwells are a bit more viable now. What I was essentially thinking was that I didn't really feel comfortable heading back down that stairwell, as I mean, as you can see, things were getting a bit hectic, and that's with the fact that I didn't even realize Susan was here. And as always, more like, hi, Susan. Okie dokie, let's get these sons of guns heading our direction. Immediately can just fire on all cylinders against a javelin tosser. And that's not just British insult slang. That's perfect. And come one, come all. We still have our poison resistance, so we're good against the sea snakes. That's one of the other big advantages of switching over our cloak for the scarf, is it meant a little less constant kind of adapting to the circumstances. I was originally thinking that we were going to be switching out that ring slot at essentially a non-stop basis, left, right, and center, but so far has not really ended up being the case. Okie dokie. Well, where do I think Susan is? At the very least with Ash, I guess we'll have some indication. I do believe that back when we were in this stairwell, I think it was like our third trip down, I noticed a scary red enemy face on the other side of this wall. Chances are that was Susan coming in for the landing. So we should be able to see them coming, which is our, one slight bit of reassurance. Okie dokie, we'll start heading around. I guess this is a relatively safe spot for us to chill a little bit. We have the trap door to escape if anything scary comes around the corner here. Can see our other stairs over in this direction. Well, let's start just taking a peek in here. Another Rapier of Speed. Okay, it turns out I have a bit of a pattern of activities here. Well, I'm going to take a look at our Manifold Assault. I mean, it's not horrible. I wouldn't say it's grand by any means either. I think that that's going too far in the other direction, but it at least has some amount of feasibility, although it seemed from our initial attempts there, which is a lot better than what we were seeing last week. I think I was starting to lose faith in the spell a little bit, at least as it pertains to this character. At the end of the day, you still probably can't beat Manifold Assault Dragon form, at least in terms of the amount of sheer joy and fun it brings me to see that combination in action. This is a good time to just keep flinging fireballs to our heart's content. Beautiful. And it also, of course, means that we get a decent selection of throwing consumables. That will be pretty huge in our futures as well. Actually, probably shouldn't use one of our very few Wand of Roots charges. Can I blow your mind? That I can. And we'll just run upstairs for a quick replenishment, because if we can just keep blasting with literally everything at our disposal, then don't really have too many issues dealing with these sons of guns. Holy moly. Guess I only generally have in the past fought cherubs when I'm like exploring Pandemonium. So I wasn't too sure what kind of threat level assessment I should give their direction, but that didn't seem too horrible. All things considered overall, beautiful. And hello, Windrake friend. Don't know if you're the same one, but very well could be. And may we actually leave them alone for now. Ooh, a phantom mirror. Don't mind if I do. We'll have to make room for it, of course. We're probably at a stage in the game. I mean, I could get rid of the leather armor, but what I was originally leaning towards there was dropping her poison darts. Kirari still, of course, has many an opportunity to be useful at the later stages of the game, but not so much with the kind of basic brew of poison there. Poor Windrake deciding to attempt to engage us in an indoor arena. Sorry, my friend, but that's not quite going to cut it here. And once again, I head to the stairs before truly getting into some glorious combat with our new friends. And if I was a betting man, I'd say that Susan is about to show up. Of course, we once again saw the little Ash warning face coming around the corner, but yikes, buddy. You're probably a bit much. And the main issue is that, one of my go-to solutions for any scary unique, especially with, given what we've recently discovered here in the dungeon, is to phantom mirror them, but you are just going to abjure that immediately You have 205 max health. That's too much, Susan. Has anyone ever told you that that's just too much? Well. Don't really want to silence against Susan. I guess, will the Hydras be a problem? It's not a huge problem with 32 armor class. The, 18 damage per Hydra head should, by and large, get denied. But I still like to, at least think things through and have a certain level of caution here. Susan is also going to stand next to me, which normally would be a bit of a minor advantage because we could try and strand our unique friend on a higher floor. In this case, not fully possible, of course, just because we don't have any teleport scrolls. So how do we get away from them after we bring them on a little bit of a highway ride, Oh, me oh my. Actually, do I have... Oh, I don't have electricity resistance? I probably have to leave then. As soon as you go thunder mode. Thunderbolts and lightning. Very, very frightening. Could also try and net you. That's what we call a net positive, am I right, folks? One more spell. Not doing quite as much damage as I would like. All of you could please focus your efforts. That would be grand. Okay, if Susan refuses to abjure, then I might just be fine. In fact, you can no longer cast abjuration. Okay, does this hit my friends? Wait a second, what happened to all my friends? I wonder if me hitting them, albeit briefly, may have been a huge mistake. Well, let's blind you, first and foremost. Then we don't have a lot of options there. Are there any more tools in our vocables? We can take a look at Susan's AC. Yeah, it's a little bit high, so Tin of Tremor Stone's probably not going to be a very effective countermeasure here. Otherwise, I could just keep throwing Wand of Light at you. Actually, we have decent chances of blowing your mind. And then let's reblind you. Oh, that Barbara is going to be a problem. I'm just at 2 MP. This entire time I've been eyeing up that one, or those 2 magic potions that we have in our backpack, trying to determine if it's worth whipping those out in this situation. I mean, I definitely can't really let Susan get closer to me, but I guess one way to take care of that is to just murder you. Again, using probably a few more charges of our wands there than I was originally hoping, but does get the job done. So that part is pretty fantastic in its own right. And holy moly, we've somehow managed to stabilize to a certain extent here. There we go. If you could stay right there, my friend. Do not go into the deep water, please and thank you. No, we're gonna have to do some pillar dancing, largely just to make sure we don't lose your javelins, and then let's actually bring you upstairs, my friend. I'm worried that my kind of glib, overconfident atmosphere there was going to be a problem, but never mind. Absolutely smashing it for the time being here. And don't think for even a moment that I didn't notice what Susan dropped there. Bit of vial of dragon blood. Does mean that we could end up using Manifold Assault in my most treasured of fashion. Is that a Trishula, my friend? Trishula of Holy Wrath. How about that? Well, I'll be darned. Oh, and I never finished off that gathering of individuals, so who knows what else will come out of that little temple in the bottom right hand of the map. So we're just gonna play it a little bit cautious there, and don't know why I tried so hard to get all of these guns to surround me. Kind of only wanted to bring 2 of them upstairs, and that was the original kind of thoughtfulness that was going into that configuration, but hey, I guess it all worked out. So not a huge deal one way or another. And that is beautiful. Is that another Rapier of Speed? Okay, so turns out there is potentially a little bit more of a distinct pattern going on here than I was originally suspecting. Or at least than I was originally seriously suspecting. Because, you know, we were coming up with all sorts of conspiracy theories and good stuff. Deva, hey? I mean, we might be okay just fighting you. Reach out and grab you? Don't think the Manifold Assault was really doing a whole lot for us there, so we'll swap over, and Constriction Hands end up doing the trick. Oh, and the rune was down here. I 100% expected it to be found in the kind of main castle keep of the zone, but very interesting. We do pick up a Dragon Blood Talisman. So minimum skills at 16, so still a bit of training before this becomes a potential option for us. And then it is the tried and true classic, Dragon Form Manifold Assault. I'm curious if it will be slightly less effective in the case of a Gnoll, just because we can't, you know, drop everything to just disproportionately train up those relevant skills. But still probably a pretty solid option for us in the future.